What's up, folks? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm coming at you with my personal opinion on everything that the Furio team has put in front of us. So they did publish a main article on their Medium page, and they came out and they specified the reasons, etc. Now, of course, the drastic changes that they have implemented, because they have the habit of doing this every now and then based on market conditions or whatsoever. They change the fundamentals of the project, but this time, this one in particular was a bit over the top in my opinion, and a lot of community members who were previously advocating for all of the changes saw this as a bit too much. So yeah, I'm gonna come forward, explain what I think about all of this and how we can look forward, because right now we are in this spot, so we're in the corner, but we have to we have to adjust our strategies. We have to try and move away a bit and try to at least make the best out of the situation that we're in. So don't go anywhere. So like I said, that they did make a Medium article and they published it a few days back, so on November the 23rd, because I'm recording this 3 days later. And of course, I assume that most people read this. If not, questions were asked on the community Telegram channel and they got the replies. But two main takeaways that one should get from all of this, other than the reasons, the opinions, the statements that they made as to why this had to drastically change the way it did. So one is the LMS price range has been reduced to 0.9 to 1.1 USDC. So let's just put it at a $1 price tag. Now that's about a 4.5x drop from the previous traded price, because the previous range was 4.5 to 5.5. So here it is, the huge red candle took us to $1. Now this actually means several things. So one, everyone who bought at the previous LMS range actually had their dashboard value, so to speak, slashed severely. So this is something that has been brought up, Look, so many community members came up and said, but I did purchase based on whatever you guys set up previously, and there were promises that this range was sustainable. So now most of my money is gone, because at the end of the day, to grind back up to reach the same amount of dollar value that you had yesterday versus today, you need several months, several weeks to get there, even at a 2.5% daily ROI rate. So that is something that I found very unfortunate in regards to how other people's money were treated. So investors that came in, that trusted how the process is, they are now punished, and they have to basically roll back the dice and accelerate their return to what they had previously, and new people could now basically get the same amount of tokens for 4.5 times less the price that these guys have paid. I'm not gonna mention all the people that have paid $5 plus, so 6, 7, 8, all the way to 20 all-time high. That's another story. We've been there. I think some of them actually recouped that in the previous LMS range, but unfortunately right now they're gonna have to grind again or deposit fresh capital to an average down to get there eventually. So also many people have recommended that the LMS range itself to be removed, because this is an artificial setup. You know how it is. So there's money that is buying up the token whenever the price is has a small tendency to drop below the lower range that is set. So that LMS will run dry with no external revenue, that is for sure. That is something that is the main reason behind the LMS price range drop. So that drastic drop that took us to $1. So people have said, remove the LMS, let the market decide the actual value of the FUR token, and it's something that I also agree with, like, leave this money for now. Let's see how people will value the token. Don't take matters into your own hands. So let the community decide for once. But unfortunately, that didn't pan out. As you can see, the decision was made, and that is something that we have mentioned several times in regards to how the FDT reacts. So they make their decision, then they announce it, and boom, you have to live with the current situation. I mean, there's no input from anyone, unfortunately. They are making their decisions based on, you know, several factors, of course. I'm not saying that they just make decisions for the sake of making them, but at the same time, it's good to have investor implication, because that's our money, right? So we are the ones who paid to enter this, and everything that you see across all contracts, those are investor hard-earned money. So this is money that we gave the project. So the team provides the service, has of course incurred an initial cost when they do this, but at the end of the day, they have no debt, they have nothing that holds them back. So all of the money that you see around, so I cannot have anyone say that, but that's the money that they're moving because that's theirs. It's not theirs, it's our money that we gave to the protocol, and they're using that money as they see fit. If they're using that money to actually provide us with the promised returns, then amazing, right? But so far there has been several disappointing points. That's one of them. This drastic measure that many people cannot digest even today. So 3 days later, I'm sure it will take a few more days, and we will most probably not, but we just have to live with the fact that it's right now upon us. Also, another takeaway, so that's one, the LMS range, is that when you do actually claim and sell, so the daily 100 first sell limit is still applied, but if you do decide to sell at a max wallet, or if you are in a negative position, so your compound is 0.5% daily, 50% of what you sell is gonna go to the FUR pool, and 50% is gonna actually be FUR tokens being sold for USDC and given to you. If you are in a positive position in regards to compounds, so 1% plus, 25% of the total amount that you decide to sell will go to the FUR pool, and 75% will be sold for USDC and go to your wallet. So that's the second takeaway. Now, I think for me personally, if I were to make changes, now perhaps this part right here is more or less reasonable. Now the 50% is a bit too aggressive. I would rather take that down to 10% and put that at 25%. I think if they implemented this, it would be a bit more reasonable, because okay, it's cool, you contribute to the FUR pool that also gives you daily USDC reward. So yeah, there's an explanatory and logical factor there, but the percentages are a bit too high in my opinion. And as far as the LMS price range goes, I would, for example, take it down to 2.5, 3.5, or worst case scenario 2, 3. I think $1 is a bit too much, and they tightened the range, so 0.9 to 1.1, knowing that it will be at 1, of course. That's the average between the two prices, so that's a bit too much. I mean, at least give the investors the opportunity to recoup that dashboard knockdown that happened to them. Now, with that being said, of course, speaking of the FUR pool, because I said that now you are kind of forced to enter the FUR pool. Previously it was, you know, something that you would enter if you would wanna, you'd get the FUR USDC LP, and then you're gonna be earning daily USDC rewards if you decide to, you know, take out some money. As long as you keep those LPs in and you lock them for a longer period, you're gonna get a premium on that. I mean, this has been explained several times. So now you're kind of forced to go into the FUR pool itself. There's no other way around it. And if we wanna, you know, extrapolate and talk about how much do you intend to get at the max wallet right now after all these changes. So I have a small, few tables, small figures, just to show you what you can expect basically. I mean, I did take into account max wallet, because anything else, in my personal opinion, is rendered to peanuts. But of course, everyone has their own, you know, calculations and value when it comes to money. but just for the sake of simplicity, I decided to take the max wallet as an example for this. So like I said, taking into account a FUR vault of 27,777, because that would give you a 100k max claimable FUR tokens at the end of the day. So with that being said, if you decide to claim daily, that's 0.5%, because right now that's a change that happened, you know, this happened actually a while back. So you claim 0.5% a day, and then if you take into account the claim tax and the sell tax, so that's 20%, 10% on top of that amount, and 10% on top of that amount, that's how many tokens you'll be able to sell. But since the sell limit is at 100 per day, you're gonna be left with about 12.5 tokens in your claimable amount of FUR. So that those tokens are in your wallet, but you cannot sell them during these current 24 hours that you're in. So in regards to daily profits, we mentioned that 50% will go to the FUR pool, 50% will be sold to USDC, and since you're selling 100 tokens at at $1, so that's $100 per day. $50 liquid, $50 FUR pool. And if we want to go a step further and actually calculate how much you can make from the FUR pool, we're talking about monthly profits now, because daily profits, $50 for someone who put in about 28k. If you want to, you know, take the equivalent dollar value, because multiply this by $1, that's 28k more or less. So for someone who reached that amount, taking $50 a day is actually very underwhelming. I agree, you know. But then at the same time, imagine the sell pressure that the contract would have been subjected to with, I don't know, 1,000 max wallet or 2,000 max wallet. That's a lot of money that the vault has to pay every day. So in regards to monthly profits, you have the liquid profit, which is, you know, your $50 daily times 30 days a month. That's 1.5k. Now the additional $232.5 actually would come from the FUR pool, and it's a linear, you know, increase in value, because right now the FUR pool would pay you a bit more than 1% a day. I took 1% a day for the sake of simplicity. Could be less, could be more, you know. Like if people forgot what the FUR pool is, you enter, like I said, with your LP tokens, you're gonna get a portion of the USDC pool that will pay out every single day, and upon entering the FUR pool, there's a percentage that you're gonna be paid out instantly. So because now people are kind of forced into the FUR pool, you can expect daily injections of USDC to be given to the participants. So perhaps with that, we might have an additional yield in regards to percentage terms. So it's no longer going to be 1%, perhaps it's going to be a bit more, but we'll see. You know, this remains to be seen. Like I said, 1% for the sake of simplicity, and we're adding $50 a day, right? Because that's our FUR pool balance. $50 out of that 100 that we sold. So add that until we reach 1.5k, and take 1% of that daily that is being exponentially added. Add these numbers together and you had 232.5. Now, of course, as the days progress, as you get more into the FUR pool, that amount will still remain static. So you're gonna still get 1.5k in liquid USDC every month, but you're gonna get more from the FUR pool itself every single month. Now, of course, if you decide to sell your position in LP, you're gonna get back this money. But one of the elements that they also mentioned is that once you claim to the FUR pool, you are subject to a 30% lockup period, meaning you can only sell those LPs after 30 days. So imagine you do that, you can recoup 1.5k plus the amount that you made from your daily percentages in the FUR pool. Alright, that's it from me today. Thank you for sticking around and listening to everything I had to say. Now, before I end this video, I just want to give a small, hints of opinion in regards to how I feel about this and how our team is going to move forward. So, one, I did mention that unfortunately those drastic measures are going to divide the community. There are so many more people on the negative side right now of the equation. They don't know how to proceed. the amount they invested has been rendered relatively so much underwhelmingly small versus whatever they had in previously at that previous LMS range, so the frustration is high. Now, I do understand from one single point of view as to why changes had to be made. Our LMS was decreasing more than 10% a day, so I think it would have been like 2 weeks and the full amount that is set aside for the LMS price range would be gone, completely depleted. So I know that changes had to be made, but unfortunately, those were not the changes that we expected or we foresaw. Like there was no way in hell if you made a, I don't know, some sort of review and asked people what do you think the changes should be, nobody would have guessed anything even near this, you know. So that was a huge shock and a huge surprise for us. So like I said, changes could have been made, but not as drastic and not as negative for everyone involved into the protocol. Now, unfortunately, with those changes, their latest implementation, Firmax, in my opinion, is going to be rendered useless, or at least is going to be rendered so underwhelming, and we're going to have a very tiny percentage of max wallets that would choose it. Because you remember, we spoke about Firmax as it being an investment vehicle to enter for bet, for pool, for bot. Now for pool, okay, I agree, it's not bad, it's giving daily rewards, it's fine. Furbet hasn't launched for months and will probably not launch before months as well. They still have to deal with so many legal issues, and God knows if it's ever gonna see the light of day, because there's a lot of legal impasses that you have to encounter. And in my opinion, them making the pre-sale so early on without knowing the implications was a huge mistake, and also that left a stain in investors' minds that what is this, like our money is held and we're getting so little right now. 2, Furbot is performing poorly. Yes, of course, we need to look for yearly projections, but right now with current market sentiments, with Furio community investor sentiment, and with the Furbot that is performing poorly from money that was given from the investors as well, you have to keep in mind that whatever money you see is your money, okay? So it's also performing poorly. So put these pieces together, you have 2 elements out of 3 that Firmax was relying on that are kind of, you know, either in the red or non-existent. So with that being said, Firmax, for now at least, is kind of useless. So what I think would happen moving forward, now, like I said, in regards to our team, we're gonna kick back, we're gonna sit on the side because we're still trying to digest it. We don't want to, you know, go about recruiting others, because honestly, if I were a person that would, you know, invest in Furio, but after these changes, I would not. So I'd rather stay on the side, see what's gonna happen next, and then decide if I would jump the gun or not. Hence why I think the DeFi Ascension team is gonna sit idle for now. No recruitment, but we need to see how things progress. We wanna, you know, take into account that all of our community need to be in a, you know, in a peaceful state of mind, in a situation where they're not actually wrecked. So we need to deal with this before actually considering, and we need to reassess how the situation with the protocol would be before actually going on the recruitment side again. So that is very important for us. And the fact that the team has been moving the goalpost, so to speak, every now and then, starting from the first change where they made, where the max wallet can no longer take 2.5% per day. They retroactively made it as part of the dynamic tax rate, but then they also decided to just put 0.5% on a max wallet, and then with the LMS stuff, then with these changes, then implementing stuff that they're not sure of. So there's a lot of bad sentiment around all of this, and speculations and so on. So I would rather, you know, set aside for now and see how things develop from here on out. So that's how we will deal with this, and we're gonna keep monitoring the situation to see how everything will be progressing. So with that being said, if you actually like the content of this video and everything I just said, or whatever is put on this channel, please consider subscribing and leaving a like on these videos if you do like them, like I said, not for the sake of liking them. And if you have any comment, If you want to open any conversation or talk about anything, I reply to everyone. I welcome criticism with open arms, and you can join our Telegram chat and Telegram room to talk with us. I'm gonna leave links to all of these things below. So yeah, can't wait to meet you. And as always, take care of your finances and trade responsibly. This was Roy with DeFi Ascension. Thanks for watching.